지쳐버릴 때까지 뛰어 맨발의 청춘을 더 burn it up 넘어져도 상처는 안 남아.
All right. And we are good to go.
Hey, Stay. Welcome to STAYtalk on a Sunday afternoon.
On a Sunday. Trying out some new things. Trying to see, I'm turning down my volume so that if stuff goes up, it's not going to get picked up on the microphones. But trying out some new things, trying out some new times, trying to see what works for us and what works for you guys, whoever does show up. As always, the replays are going to be available on YouTube once we are done. So make sure if you don't catch us during the lives, you are catching us during our replays. We are slowly growing, and I am very, very thankful and appreciative for everybody that is showing up, including the people that are downvoting our videos too, because we've gotten some downvotes on some of the shorts, which I think is pretty fun.
Did we really? I didn't even look.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Because if you don't know, y'all can't see the downvotes on YouTube, but we can on the back end. I mean, I can't see who did it, but I just think it's funny because it's like there's been a couple where it's like, we don't have 100% likes. It's like, why is it only 90%? Oh, because somebody downvoted it. Interestingly enough, it tends to be more the stuff focused on Felix.
Really?
So take that as you will.
Oh.
Especially given current events, which we are about to get into in a minute, because that's going to kind of be our daily dish of the day is
wow,
current events. So yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting little bit. But you know what? We're going to keep saying what we're going to say, and you either can like it or you cannot like it. The whole point of this whole format is that we have, various discussions about things that are going on in the world of Stray Kids and Stayville and K-pop and entertainment and fandoms in general. And sometimes that means you're going to agree with us, and sometimes that means you're not, and sometimes we're going to agree with each other, and sometimes we're not, and sometimes we're going to have guests on that are going to agree with us, and sometimes they're not. And that's kind of the whole point, is that in order to be able to grow and progress and just change, not just as people, but as a fandom and as a community, we need to be able to have conversations where, we don't all agree 100% of the time, and that is perfectly okay. But I did find it funny that it was more the snippets focused around Felix that tend to get downvoted a little bit.
You know what? I'm gonna repeat something that Ben Kim, the lovely Ben Kim, has said. If you don't like Felix, you have a problem. There's a problem with you. Because I could see if you don't like his looks. There was somebody who posted their sister's reaction to Stray Kids, and I was actually shocked by her assessment. But I mean, everybody's got their own, likes and dislikes when it comes to appearance. So, okay. But that man, there's no reason to dislike that man. I'm sorry. None. Zero. Zip. None. So if you have a problem with him, you're the problem.
Hold on a second. We got, hello, Jocelyn. I'm replying to you right now. Just give me just a second because I'm trying to multitask and learning how to do all this. And I can't type because I've got my nails done. So that means
I can't fathom disliking him. There's not a dislikable thing about him. And let's minus him being my bias. Even if there's people who don't know who Stray Kids is that knows who Felix is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't get it. But whatever. It is
what it is. It's like that. Look what I just did. Ooh.
I know.
Okay, it's kind of fine. Interesting. All right. So anyway, I'm playing. But yes, I mean it's people are people. You're not going to jive with everybody. You're not going to get along with everybody. I understand
that, but
at the same time,
I think the hate is very forced. I'm sorry. You could call it for what it is, but
he's one of those people. I was like, okay, if you don't like him, just walk away. There's no need.
It's the same way I feel about some of the Akes that go after him for a certain other Stray Kid, and I'm just like, you realize he would burn the ground.
Oh my God,
for that man. So I don't know why you choose to do this, because
this is where okay. So having been, you've been in performance, you understand the whole ensemble aspect of things, and being when you are truly part of an ensemble, and when that ensemble is truly family, as it is in the case of our guys here, that ensemble is going to be priority number one. And yes, the focus is on the the patrons, the focus is on the customers, the focus is on the consumer, the fans and whatnot. But at the end of the day, none of that exists without each other.
Right.
So you are going to defend each other to the point of, yeah, if you've got somebody that is quote unquote a fan who is in any way, shape, or form negatively impacting one, the rest are going to burn the world down to make sure that, you know, they're going to burn you to keep everybody else alive. Now they're going to
tell you, all of them would burn it down for Felix.
Oh my God. They don't burn it down. Realistically speaking, all 8 of them would burn it down for each other.
Right, exactly. But I'm just saying, since we were using him as an example,
but out of all of them,
that's what I mean.
Like, which kind of goes hand in hand with what our dish of the day.
Correct.
And our dish of the day was that within the last 24 hours, we have been notified publicly that not just Felix, but Chan have both filed motions in the California courts to basically compel Twitter/X, whatever. I'm going to call it Twitter. I'm sorry, it is still Twitter. I don't care. I don't care. They're compelling Twitter to release the personal information of certain accounts that that have been named as parties in lawsuits that have been filed in Korea.
Right.
And in order to pursue the lawsuit in Korea, they have to get the information of the people behind the account because the account is essentially anonymous. Yeah. And in order for them to be able to serve papers, essentially, they need to be able to figure out who these people are. And with the accounts themselves having been removed since the publication of the tweets in question, they are in the process now of basically it's discovery. And I saw something interesting today because I fully understand the sentiment behind it. But somebody was like, I saw somebody talking about the fact that, the police, as soon as the police report was filed, then the information should have been given. It's like, that's not how the system works. And the reason why the system doesn't work that way is because that means that you, I, or anybody else, the minute we say one thing wrong, if somebody walks down to their police station and just fills out a report, all of a sudden all of our information is going to be available. Those systems are in place to ultimately protect people. And to be completely realistic, a lot of the times Twitter/X or any of these other social media places, especially when you're dealing with international law, like we are in this particular case, have no idea what the hell's going on until they file something in an American court. If it is an American-based company, they're not going to know to give the information over until a motion's filed
here, right,
on our soil, essentially. Though I do find it really, really weird that there are going to be, for till the end of time now, documents on file in American courts with both Felix and Chris's names on them. It feels kind of, it feels weird to me.
What's interesting to me is JYP has an American company. He's got
that's why it was filed in California.
Right. Right.
I guarantee you
but what I'm also surprised is they should go double. Yes, it's a case in Korea, but it should be a case here.
And I'm just from what I know of business law from my meager little business administration degree, which doesn't go in depth into business law, but international business is part of my degree.
Yeah.
Just because we're not seeing it right now doesn't mean it
won't be filed later. Right. I'm thinking the laws are much more strict in Korea than they are here.
And not necessarily in California, though, because California laws are pretty freaking strict.
They are, but I'm saying they wouldn't. I don't think they put somebody in jail for bullying, but they do in Korea.
They do, yeah, they do in Korea. Good point.
That's what I'm saying.
But I also have to wonder, and this is where I'm kind of curious if it is being considered at all. It's a civil case in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
It could very well be a potentially criminal case here if they can prove loss in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
So that's where I think that's the reason why, if there is anything going to be pursued on U.S. soil directly, and I think it also kind of depends on who are these people behind the accounts. Are they are they American citizens? Are they Canadian? Are they European? They so that's kind of the reason why I think there's nothing been done with the California branch of JYPE yet, because they need to kind of figure out who these people are first before they can determine if any additional steps are going to be made. I will be kind of curious to see. I'm also kind of curious as well, because if I am not mistaken, I know that there have been accounts that I have reported to JYPE, because yes, if I see something that is behavior unbecoming, egregious, steps over that line, I'm reporting your ass to JYP, just so you're aware, just so that I take screenshots, I take receipts, I send those screenshots and receipts and everything else into JYP and just say, there's no emotion to the email when I send it. FYI, here's what I've seen. You guys might want to pay attention to it. Here's the information. Here's what platforms it's on. I make sure the username's in there. I make sure I specifically have date and time on my phone so that they can mark like, okay, this screenshot was taken on this day at this time.
Yeah.
So that they can see, and because, obviously sometimes you see stuff a day or two after it gets posted or whatnot, but on this day and at this time, this was visible.
Right.
And I've reported stuff. So I'm going to be, but none of the stuff that I have reported is part of either of those lawsuits. Now that's not to say that, that other stuff. Hi, Sarah, how are you? That's your Sarah, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So that's not to say that there aren't going to be other lawsuits coming out, because obviously there have been other instances since the ones in the currently named lawsuits that have taken place that have been reported. And I will be curious to see how.
Well, I did see an interesting backup tweet to one of them. One of the names that was named, and that came through a fans also a while back. I remember when this came across fans, and it was saying,
"Oh, it was in the fans account." It was like a fans account.
There was an email sent where it says "Don't engage," and it said the 3 usernames, and the one username came out and said they were a minor. And people are like, if you go to an adult platform, which really Twitter is and was and will always be sort of an adultish platform.
All social media, every single social media you can possibly sign up for is 13 and up.
Right.
Now, granted, 13 to 18 is a minor.
Not an adult. So
but you're not supposed to, but even at 13 to 18, you're not supposed to be on that platform without parental approval.
Right.
Granted, that's not what as a parent, I'm well aware that that's not necessarily what happens.
Right.
But at the same time, that does not preclude you from the consequences of your actions.
Well, that's exactly where I'm going with this, because people were like, I don't care that you are on an adult platform. You are engaging and doing things in an adult manner. So guess what? The piper wants to be paid. You have to. There's going to be consequences.
And I'm sorry.
Right on.
And as someone who currently has a child that is in the teenage bracket at this particular point in time, not that I'm a stellar parent by any stretch of the means. I am certainly flawed and infallible and not perfect. But what I can tell you is that my child knows how to act online.
Right.
Like they are well aware that whatever they put out there is going to open them up to whatever, whatever.
Mine is too, because he plays in groups and stuff, and games and stuff, and he knows if and he said a couple of times people come on and like, because he plays so well and everything else. But you have to be careful. But as a parent, you have to okay, that's why people are like, I hope these parents pay up. Well, they're going to have to, because if they are a minor, they're not just going to sue this minor. They're going to sue.
Well, it's the parent will ultimately at the end be responsible for the minor, regardless. So it's just kind of
I'm glad this opens the precedent for other idols.
Absolutely.
To go after these people, because your time's up.
Yeah, I mean, it's
all these haters that like to put all this bullshit out there and make up all these falsehoods and everything. And I'm sorry, X is the worst. X is the worst.
X is a cesspool.
I've seen some stuff come across threads. I've seen some stuff on TikTok, but X is by far the worst. So guys, stop going on X. Now, let the staff go on X and find all these bad accounts. But you guys come back to threads where we're nice and crazy, but we're nice.
Sarah, since you're on, do you want to hop in? Because I can send you the link and you can hop in and add to this if you would like to. You are more than welcome to.
Yeah.
We will gladly send you the link if you want to contribute, since you've got kind of background in some of this. But it's not only is it a great precedence that they're setting for just not just Stray Kids, but JYP as a whole and other companies.
Other.
Especially because if and when they are successful, as I suspect they are going to be, whether or not they're successful, if they do anything in the American courts, I don't know, because our court system right now. Oh, I will. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to send Sarah the link, JC, since you have contact information for her, and we will pop her in?
Yeah. Hold on.
I like the fact that we could do this on lives. Hi, how are you? I know who you are.
I got to find the link that you sent me on my phone to send to her. Hold on.
Do you want me to resend it? I can resend it.
I think I have it.
But it's that aspect of, I don't know if anything does take place in the U.S. court system, if they will necessarily be quote unquote successful.
Right.
Only because the way stuff gets done over here can be kind of wonky when it comes to things like that. But I guarantee if they can get the information on who these people are in the Korean system, it's probably going to be successful, because anytime stuff like this has happened previously with other entertainers, or whether it's actors, actresses. Excuse me, I had Milkies and I am very, very irpy right now.
You remind me of Felix on that live.
But wait, no, hold on. Look. I got it. Anyway, anytime anything like this has been brought up in the South Korean court, it has been pretty successful for the companies, mainly because they're able to the lines on what constitutes acceptable behavior over there are different than they are here.
Oh, absolutely.
So it will be a great precedent for that.
But also a good precedent for AI. I want to see how this plays out, since it was a deep fake AI, which I'm glad to say that I never saw it.
I didn't see it either. Yeah. I saw there was that one account that I saw that was making allegations and using some I've seen like silly little video. I've seen like the silly little videos where it's them. I don't know if you like, it's the guys and they're having a conversation and it's always like Chan's the dad, and which I don't know if you can necessarily consider. I don't think you can consider that deep fakes per se, because it's voiceovers.
It's not their voices. It's the voice of the comedian. So, and it's just using their likeness, but all right, if somebody did that to me, I'd laugh, because I think those are funny and they're not harmful and they're not being mean.
They're not intended to be malicious.
Right. So I think it's the intent. Like if somebody was intending to defraud or to make them appear less than, I think that would be something. Yeah. But I could see Chan and Han and Hyunjin watching those and laughing their butts off. So,
and dying laughing. Like, so that would probably be, and I have to wonder how much of them, like, look, it's us. Which is good from what I know.
No kidding. Oh yeah, absolutely.
But there, I'm very, very, I'm A, yes. And then B, I'm very, very kind of curious of where that's going to go. So Sarah, if you are having any difficulties or problems, let us know, because I don't want to segue into next portion of this until we get your input on these things.
I'm seeing if I have her, because I could send her the email link too. Hold on. Oh, I do. Huh.
Yeah, hold on. There you go. Blah blah. Because you said that, right?
Yeah,
that's going to Twitch and not YouTube. Some stuff's coming in. How do I change this so that it goes to YouTube and not Twitch? I gotta figure that out. I'll have to figure that out at some point in time. And anyway, if you are talking to us on YouTube and then we're replying on Twitch, I'm just gonna put it up on the screen, because I can do that until I figure out how to. This is trial by error, folks. we are.
I tell her, Sarah, I just sent it to your Yahoo or whatever, the email that I have for you.
Whatever email we have on file.
Okay, she's on her way. Please hold, she said.
Okay, right. We will hold, please. Yes.
Yes. So yes, I'm very proud of the guys. I'm very proud of Felix and Chan. I think that.
I'm also curious to see what other lawsuits come, because Hyunjin, I know, has had stuff thrown at him.
And Lino. That's what I'm waiting for.
Like the only ones that don't seem to necessarily get it are Changbin, Sungmin, and Ian.
No, Sungmin got one that said there was somebody on Twitter, and I reported it. It said, I wish it was him that got into the accident, not Felix.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
anybody who threatens Minnie, again, the problem is you.
Okay, let's anybody that threatens anybody.
Well, that's true.
Full stop. I don't care whether you are Joe Schmo off the street or whether you are a public figure. Anybody that is threatening anybody,
yes,
keyboard warrior style,
yes,
is got a problem. I can honestly say the only time I would have been considered threatening anybody is in I am replying to or defending myself against. Right. By the way, hey, you need to stop this or XYZ is going to happen.
Right.
But even then it's not like XYZ, I'm going to show up at your house. It's XYZ, I'm going to block, I'm going to report and blah, it's exactly the stuff that you're able to do.
Yeah, I started blocking it more so than anything. I'm like, just if you tick me off or you say something negative, or a lot of it was the ageism stuff, and there was younger stay that would come on to either TikTok or and I was like, look, like I don't have time for you.
No,
like
you are not worth my energy. My energy is precious. I'm going to share it with the people that are worth sharing it with.
Yeah.
So Sarah's probably like, I gotta throw makeup on.
Yeah, no, she's fine.
Sarah, you don't have to be on camera. We could literally just do it by disembodied voice too. So that is also an option.
Right.
But yeah, it's I'm glad to see it.
I found this on the web for you don't have to be a camera. We could
That's hysterical.
For whatever reason, I was in a live last night, and from our previous guest, and she said something, and in saying something, she managed to set off both my droid, which is the Alexa, and SIRI at the same time. Oh, there's Sarah.
I'm adding her.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you great.
Just fine.
Okay.
Welcome.
I'm just making sure. So it's nice to see you guys.
So you said you had background with like cyberbullying and whatnot, which kind of goes hand in hand with these lawsuits. So
wait, hold on. I have an echo.
We can't hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear it on our end. So
okay, sorry. I have an echo, so I have like two things going at once.
Oh, okay.
Do you have an earpiece? You have an earpiece in?
I do.
Okay, so yeah, it's probably just kind of coming through the ear. Oscar.
Okay, let me see if this works better for me because
yeah,
I can only.
That's all right. Like I said, this is all trial by fire and trial and error for us.
Yeah, because I can hear and see, and then 2 seconds later, it like repeats itself.
Oh.
And that's usually because of the audio coming through your audio is coming through the computer and your earpiece instead of just the earpiece, usually. Because that's what I was having the problem with before until I.
Okay.
So, hold on. Let me see.
How well I can do this then.
Okay. Edit my.
Or actually, I'll switch you guys. Do you mind if I switch you guys to my phone? That might be better.
That's fine.
Okay, I'll be right back.
That's fine. Hold, please. So yeah, so it's gonna be I'm gonna be curious to see what other stuff comes out of it. I'm gonna be curious to see what precedents it sets for everything else moving forward. And yay for the guys! Like hell yeah, get them, baby, get them, baby. Oh my god, yeah, I saw somebody tweeted about that. The irony that their album is named Karma, and then within 2 weeks of the album dropping, we now have lawsuits against people that have been saying certain things and doing certain things, which is funny because I did my daily tarot reading for the collective this morning and posted it on my other account, and oh my god, it was everything, hard work, stuff paying off, karma. That's literally what it was.
I love it. Better?
Hi. Yeah.
Better?
Okay, good.
No reverb? Awesome.
No. Also, did I just hear you say you did tarot?
Yes.
Yes.
I do too. I love that. I have my little like tarot shelf up here.
Oh, I can't. I can't see it from here, but that's okay.
Oh,
no, but I do like literally daily readings and post them, and then and this morning it was Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, and the six or seven of pence, and I was like, oh look, karma, hard work, success, karma.
Yes.
It was the most Stray Kids freaking tarot reading I've ever this morning. So anyway,
I was actually on FaceTime. You know Julia, the moderator on SKZ.
Mm-hmm.
I was on FaceTime with her, and we happened to like start talking about the same topic you guys just were about, like the lawsuit and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of like I used to call her like my holy Bible of SKZ, because when I got into Stray Kids, she was one of my first friends with Stray Kids. So any information that dove a lot deeper than like, let's say, music videos or whatever, I would go to her and be like, so what's the backstory on this, and what's the story on this? So I'm constantly like asking her questions. So last night, well, when the Felix one came out, she messaged me and she was like, oh my god, it's happening. And I'm like, so what's this?
Yeah.
So a little bit more about what's going on and why this is happening. And she told me the backstory, and I was like, okay, cool, thank god this is happening. And then the next day Chan's come out, and I'm just like, thank god, you know. So I start texting her, and I'm like, you know, thank god the United States is doing something about it. And she's like, well, it's the Korean government is allowing it to happen because the United States have Twitter, and we can't get any information or anything without that. So it's just helping hands. And I was like, okay, because I, you know, don't know anything about legal work or any of that stuff. So like, I'm very much like, hey, I don't know anything. What do I know? I need you to tell me and educate me. And if I don't believe you, then I'll go like try to research it.
Yeah.
Right.
But so she's literally like, she's so deep into this. Like she'll go like make all the like big posts about like issues that are happening.
Yeah.
She's the one that's doing all the, this is what this means.
Saying this is what this means, because they're going after discovery is what the term is. Discovery to be able to unveil who it is behind these accounts. So they're able to file a civil suit in Korea.
In order for the civil suit to continue in Korea, they need to know who to serve the papers to. They
Exactly.
need to know who to name as the defendant in the case, essentially. But you can't do that without X/Twitter releasing the information. And of course, a lot of, I'm sure because those accounts have since been deleted, those people are thinking, they're probably thinking, we're good. But there's this thing called
internet,
IP.
ladies and gentlemen, nothing goes away. It's always there.
And just so that people are aware, companies are required to keep that information for, I think the minimum was 3 years.
I thought it was 7. I thought it's just like a bankruptcy. You got to keep, like IRS, you got to keep it 7 years. 7 years.
There's different guidelines for stuff like that. But it's it doesn't just go poof as soon as it's gone. That's still there. And you know, and the back end, the forensic back end of it is going to take care of it and going to figure out who those people are. And then the South Korean government will pick up that information and serve papers.
Mm-hmm.
Julia's on now, and she's saying minimum of 7. Hi, Julia.
I remember my paralegal education. Yes.
The reverb was happening because I was on FaceTime with her, and then I had you guys on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
This is not gonna work.
Welcome. Do we want to bring Julia in too? Because we can.
You could bring Jules will probably join. Like she's just sitting, she's chilling at home just like I am. That's what we were literally. We go on FaceTime with each other, and like I'm on my iPad doing like whatever, and then she's on her iPad doing whatever, and we're just doing it in silence. Yeah. And then you'll hear a giggle from one of us, and we're like, "What is it?" And we'll send like a TikTok, and then we'll go back to whatever we're doing. We just sit, just stick to be.
Virtual body doubling is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Go for it. All right. You want to send Julia the link too? And we'll get Julia on here. We're going to have a full round table today. And
she doesn't want to come on. She can come on a different time. It's up to her.
She's saying go for it. So we can if you'd like. But yeah, it's the whole, the aspect of this to me is just like JC was saying, it's the precedent that this is going to set in any way, shape or form. Regardless of what comes of it, is that it's going to set this precedent that now these artists are going to have more autonomy, and then B, more ability to actually, you know, defend themselves when they have not necessarily been able to do so before. And I don't know how that's going to change things within the industry. Because it very well could.
Yeah.
I feel like this is definitely a huge stepping stone, I should say, for the industry in general. Because I feel like there's so much awful things that happen to idols that just get swept under the rug.
Yeah.
Consistently too. Like it's not just like one big thing happens to them. It's like a constant nonstop. And it's like they're also treated a lot differently. They have to act a lot differently than, like, let's say the idols, the pop stars that we have here, like Bieber or whoever.
They're not under the microscope like they are over there.
Exactly. They're held to like a very, very, very high standard. You know what I mean? I don't even hold myself to the standards that they like. No, absolutely not. Like I'm very So I think that this is a really good stepping stone. You know.
All right, look at this. Hi, nice to meet you, Jules.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. So the fact finder slash verification.
Literally
checks and balances.
When we bring moderators into SKZN, we usually between Cheryl, Ashley, and I, and a vote has to be unanimous. Yeah. So one of us will throw a name out there, and then the other two will go and be like, okay, yeah, I think this is a good point, or no, they might not be, you know, because this is a community that we're trusting people with. Like when we're not around, I have to trust Jules to like take care of something for me, or like if she sees something that maybe I don't, you know. Right. So when I first came into SKZN and we were adding moderators, I was like, I know this girl from Instagram. I have known her for like 2 months. Let's bring her in. So
I love it. And here she is.
Yes.
Hello, what's up?
Yes.
Hi. So the 7 years is how long they have to, the companies have to hold back office data for on PII, right?
Correct.
Okay, because I was like, I know there's different time frames for different types of information.
I'm curious to see who goes next, because as far as stuff that I've seen, I would think that Han would be next. That's my.
Here's where I caution speculation on who's going to go next. I've gotten a lot of these questions already since Felix dropped his case first. If Stray Kids as a whole were going to go into a group sue for this exact reason, they would have done it because they could have in America, right? 8 individual sues is a lot harder than one big group, one big K-pop group. But they all have different levels of things. Now, for Chan's, right, he has a deep fake, an AI deep fake on his case. He's projecting to the court. Whereas Felix does not have a deep fake on his case. He has harassment, some by minors, some not. We don't know exactly how many are being sued either. We don't have that information quite yet. We only have what's available to us as a public unit. Now I caution the speculation because all of them, every single K-pop idol in this world could sue for this exact thing.
Oh yeah.
Because that's how harassment works, right? The level of which this got to for Chan specifically, because I was on that live stream that was AI deepfaked. I saw it. I know exactly what he said, and then was able to see the deepfake right after and be like, that's funny. That's not what happened. And it's so painfully obvious it's AI. It's not him at all. Now that's a whole different conversation for that to come into play. What AI rules are going to come out of this? Because if it wasn't AI, this would be a whole different thing. Now, obviously, because it's a minor and we have that information, and that minor's tweet has now gotten popular of, I thought it was funny, or what we saw when that resurfaced. About 18 other Twitter accounts came back with that resurfaced tweet and said, here's our backlog of information of deepfakes that we've kept for every single member.
Yeah.
There's Twitter accounts that do that for K-pop idols. Are they 100% accurate? Never.
Right.
Never. You can't.
And that's why I want to interject here. And that's why if
Yeah.
anybody that watches this either now or not now or that in the future, that's the reason why a lot of people will sit there and complain about why is nothing being done. Stuff's being done. We're just not seeing it because it takes a period of time to research, verify, investigate and whatnot to determine whether this is A, valid, and then B, what can be done about it.
Right.
So that frequently, why isn't stuff being done? It is, just let it take.
Yeah, it takes time. Legal proceedings take a lot of time.
Years. They take years. We've seen this now. JYP, I don't remember what year, it could have been before I was a stay, issued out legal statements saying that they have been they have conducted an investigation for social media. Well, Korea doesn't work with Twitter. They don't have a sanction for Twitter itself. They do for Instagram. I don't think they do for TikTok, but they do for Twitter because it's a whole separate entity. They're not covered through the same thing. Like Instagram and Facebook are one and the same. Twitter is not. It's a whole separate thing. So they can't do anything for publishing defamation on a platform they don't have anything with. So Twitter's a really difficult one because Twitter's one of the biggest hubs for misinformation and for also information, real information. So having to separate the two is really hard. So that's why when we saw JYPE tweet recently that they were pushing an investigation, I told Sarah, I was like, I don't know where this is going to go because they can't do anything with Twitter. They can't do anything with it. So where are they going to get this from? Where are they going to get any of their information, any of their validity in this case? Where's it going to come from? Then once we saw that Felix dropped in a Californian court, I was like, oh, that's it. We got it. That's exactly where that's going to come from.
I have to wonder, how long ago was the California office of JYPE, the JYP USA, broken ground on? Does anybody know how long ago that happened?
I'm sure I could find that information. I don't have it at the top of my head.
Because I have to wonder if part of the reason why, the partnership with Republic and then with distribution with Republic and whatnot is definitely a part of that. Is definitely a part of that because now they can do stuff in the U.S. and distribute stuff. That's why the U.S. can get signed copies where other countries still can't.
Yeah.
But I also have to wonder too if the whole reason why they did that was also to provide legal footing.
Could be.
I 100% think so. It protects artists, right? So, I mean, my brother's a recording engineer.
Most of your social media is based in the U.S. Most of it. So
yeah, and my brother's a recording engineer for a label down here, and Hypen is a part of that label here. It's not Republic Records; they're a part of a different one.
Yeah.
But they try to get contracted with an American producer, label, what have you, so they have legal ground in multiple places, so they don't have to go through this, right? Now, does it work all the time? God, no. I mean, but if you look at Stray Kids itself, specifically Felix, if we're gonna look at Felix, he has brands in America. Gonsha, for specifically, we have that here. His face is broadcasted here, not as a part of Stray Kids, but as Felix himself.
Correct.
Right?
As a separate
Those
entity,
two specifically, and Bangchan for sure, they have huge legal grounding here. Huge. So I don't know what it would look like for the other members specifically. I mean, could they have a case? 100%. But I also think that every single idol on this planet could build a case. If you look at New Jeans themselves, if they had any American representation, that case would have been very different than what it happened in Korea.
Right.
And that was a whole court case for the company. Now, this is a separate conversation, but it ties back in with it. I've seen on Twitter, I'm sure you've seen it on Twitter or Facebook, but I've gotten lots of questions of like, why has JYP done absolutely nothing? They suck. They're blah, blah, blah. I'm not a JYP fan by any means. Sarah knows this. I am not up JYP's. I'm not all the way up there.
Yeah.
But we can never, ever say a company is not doing something in regard of legality because we just don't have that information.
Correct.
Right.
We really don't, because in Korea, their government is incredibly different. Also, K-pop is a government entity. We don't we don't have the same protection that idols have here than versus what celebrities have here.
Yeah.
We just really can't say what they're doing in this regard. Like what like the argument was it shouldn't be that that the idol themselves has to be the one doing this. And it's like, well, do you really think that
it's
they
not
don't
the
have
it's
a
not the
company
item
behind them that is
yeah
getting
it's
them
not the
lawyers
item
and getting them these things?
Yeah.
It's like, just because we didn't get a statement from JYP themselves that said Felix is doing this, doesn't mean that they don't, that Div One or whoever, who I despise, is not providing them with care.
Oh, there's absolutely, even though it's their name, they're the plaintiff in this because it's their
likeness.
Exactly.
It's their likeness. It's their face. It's their person, even though it's not. You know what I mean?
Their lawyers, I guarantee, are JYPE lawyers. Like, just
you think the biggest K-pop company, the second biggest K-pop company in the world, doesn't have lawyers? You are severely misinformed.
Exactly.
And that's most of the minors on Twitter who are saying that. So
I mean, if you're not familiar with it, to credit even with adults, if you're not familiar with those aspects of things, then you don't know how it works. Like, you know.
Right.
If you're not an accountant, you don't know how books work. If you're not a performer, you don't know how back of the house works. If you know what I mean? So but then you have the people that, you know, throw out the speculation because I think I know how it works.
Right. I don't know how it works. Dude, I'm a biology teacher. You think I know anything about this? No.
But you do your due diligence and you investigate. Like that's the thing. Like these are all things you can read because, believe it or not, you can find cases and read up on them if you want to take the time to read the complaint because it's made for public documentation.
The first question I got when I posted on SKZN, because that's my job. I told Sarah was
I'm your favorite boss. Don't put it in quotes. I'm the
100% Sarah's my boss. This is very true. Very true. I would not be in this position without her. So very accurate. But I told her the first question I got was, how am I finding this information? And I go, oh, you know what? A lot of people don't realize that court cases are public.
You can go search anything. Your state.
I found both the case numbers last night.
Exactly, because they're on Twitter.
Let me tell you something.
No, I found them. I didn't use Twitter. I literally went over to the California courts pages.
You did more work than what other people would have done.
Yeah, because case numbers are public record. Yeah. So if they are public record, they are accessible somewhere. So I found the case numbers. What I thought was interesting though is they specifically spelled Felix's name wrong on the actual listing of the thing. It's Felix.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And I think they did that on purpose because it's spelled correctly on the documents, but it's not spelled correctly on the docket listing. And I think they did that specifically so that people would have more of a difficult time finding
the not case. Showing up to think that he was filing the case too.
Because even Chris's, I finally found using Bong, but the BAHNG.
Yeah.
Because again, most people don't remember
his legal name.
Right, but most people don't remember that that's the legal spelling of his name.
Right. Well, and people in the article is referring to Felix as Lee, because that's his legal name, Lee Young-bok. So in Korea. So
that's here, but not here. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was spelled Felix on the docket.
Yeah, I did see that. I was like, well,
and I guarantee that was probably to make it more difficult.
It was like that's either very purposeful or a huge mistake. Like,
what happened?
What were you going to say?
His name was misspelled.
Oh, you said like a lot of people don't know you can find court cases online, or you could be like me, where I know that little tidbit, but then you put the court case in my hands, and I'm like, I don't know what any of this says.
Yeah. Right.
This is all like a foreign language to me. Yeah. So that's where like, other people come in to, I would say, like dumb it down for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
and I got very lucky. My first, I wasn't getting a degree in wildlife at first. I was getting a degree in criminal justice.
So there you go.
And my grandfather's a lawyer, and my other grandfather is chief of police. So when she was like, "You want to be a fact checker?" I was like, "Oh, you're in for it." You're in for it, man.
Yeah, I have been told that I am like my own little version of the FBI sometimes with the stuff I'm able to.
We'll use Joel as a fact checker for the next topic that we're going to talk about.
Oh, I can try.
Next topic.
line distribution. I had an argument. I started a mass thing on Twitter because I was so annoyed with people of hearing, I am OT8. Yes, my ultimate bias is Felix. Yes, I love Chris. Yes, I love Hyunjin. But what annoys me to no avail is because I was a singer, a musician, a performer, is when people get the line distribution wrong when it's blatantly obvious.
Yes. Okay.
So
I have a music degree as well. So trust me, I understand.
So 0801, I said, I'm sorry to be that person, but I'm gonna be. It is Chan. It is Felix has the last two lines, and Chan says, I'll be right here. It's his voice. I don't want to hear anything about it. People are like, well, at the fan meet, it was Hyunjin singing. Well, Hyunjin and Han and Felix all sing at the fan meets. They love to sing over the songs, but it's Chan's last line. I will take that to whatever court case there is because
this is argument. This is an actual argument happening.
Oh yes, Sarah. Yeah, I didn't tell you on Twitter. Everyone's arguing it because the last actual verse where it's just them going.
I'll be right here.
I'll be right here. I'll stay here. I'll be right here. I'm right here. Yeah. Everyone's like, it's Felix, it's Hyunjin, it's Chris. And at the fan meet, there's a video of Felix singing the very last line, and people are saying he's wrong. Which is hilarious to me.
Right. So I went and looked. I looked at the Lyric Genius. I went and looked at the video. I went and I put my headphones like up to like 90, like to try to hear. Yeah. Hyunjin sings the first two. So like Sungmin and it's Sungmin, somebody else sings before that. So then it's Hyunjin, it's IN, it's Lino. Then it's Chanbin, Felix, and Chan. That's how the last 6 guys sing the end of that song. But Chan is the last line. And I will
Chan's the very last.
Are you gonna hate me?
What?
You're gonna hate me, aren't you?
Why? It is Chan.
I disagree with you.
You think no, that's Chan. And the only reason I say
here's why I disagree with you because my my brother, his friend, who is also a recording producer in his sanction, actually helped mix the song.
Oh. I still think it's Chan. I don't care. It's not Hyunjin though.
It's not. It's Felix. The very last line is Felix.
But see, the tone's different. I still don't think it is.
But there's proof of it.
And then it's Chan.
Well, this is why I miss Chan so much because he would clock all of us.
I know, and that's what if Chan does see this, clock us because if it's not, please tell me.
This is why I was so hoping in that last live stream we got, which God bless that live stream because we all needed it. For him to just be mad the entire time. Yes, so needed that for my heart to sustain what I was needing in that time. But I was hoping for a line distribution of some of those songs because he breaks them down super, super well. Yeah. Like I remember when Going Dumb came out, like that song, man, no one knew at all who was singing. And I was like, how? Like, how do we not know this? But that song is so overly produced. It is quite difficult.
Yeah, so hard to break it out. You have to really listen.
So when
now that I know it, when you listen to it, you can.
It's like obvious now.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I listen to it all the time because it's him just being like, okay, like you guys.
I want to wait. I want to go back now and watch that episode of The Talker where Chan was working on the computer and showing the different colors that he uses.
Yes.
And now I want to try to see if 0801 was the song he was finishing.
Oh, that would be
good. Not.
It's not? Okay.
No. Huh. We found that information. I mean, Stazer detectives are so good at being detectives. They were like,
these are the hypotheses that I could get in my brain. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. If that's the case,
they're great hypotheses, though. They're wonderful.
And they caused this. Y'all cause. If any of you see this, you all caused this, and thank you. Just saying. Because
well, because the only reason I say it's Chan too and not Felix either is because every other one before that is sung by Lino. If you look at the lyrics thing, every other one is sung by Lino, including the one prior to Chanbin and Felix singing. There's three. It's the way it's split. Chan is sort of kind of meticulous when it comes to that, of changing voices. So why would he all of a sudden
not
do
in terms
three?
of patterns though? And he said that he does not do patterns in his songs in terms of who's singing and who's what. It's whoever it's whoever fits the part, whoever's singing it the best. It does not matter the pattern. That's why he talks about how in Hollow he gave himself a very specific part. And in Ceremony, how he says hip hip, and that's it. Like, and now I'm not discrediting him at all, because he's doing the entire backing vocal, which is what we have in all those songs, is all the backing harmonies, the 4 split harmony. That's all him, 100%. Which that's an argument within itself for all those people on Twitter being like, he doesn't sing enough. I'm like, he really does. You're just not listening.
We mentioned that on one of the earlier episodes. We're like, look, if his fingerprints are all over every single, from writing, producing, composing, backing vocals. If you are afraid that man is not doing enough, then you don't understand the process of leading from the back.
Right. They're like, I want to hear him sing. It's like, you are actually the entire song.
You had that. Like it's everything. Like I now listen to the backing vocals. Like I'm specifically listening to the backing vocals in the songs, because I'm trying to figure out like which ones. Almost always Chan, but like how is it
when the songs come out, when the albums drop? I listen with my recording headphones, or I go in my car.
Yeah,
That's what
I wish they put it on the what do you call it? You know how like when we grew up and we used to look at albums, they used to, if it was a major group, they used to put the names of the singers for the certain lines.
Yes.
Right? They used to do that. So that's why I'm like, I wish they would do that.
Wow. Since they put the lyrics in the jacket.
That's what I'm saying. Like they use. I have old album like jackets of CDs that have the words, and it had the name of whoever sang that part, and then the next part. You know what I mean? So I wish
we know what studio it was recorded in. They can at least provide us with the line break. There you go.
Oh, but that's a lot.
That'll take care of it. Like, it wouldn't be that much different in regards to printing and time and whatnot.
Yeah, but we have albums that are literally stapled together.
That's true.
Like the entire Rockstar album is a piece of paper.
That's true. That's true.
Literally stapled together. This album was in a cardboard box, not even cardboard. It was literally a paper box that is already folding in on itself. Like Div 1, okay, they can't even put translations on there correctly because they're using AI and they're translating. And literally when Changbin's talking, it's like Felix. It's like, well, that's not right.
Well, no, I'm talking about on the jackets. I'm talking about on the jackets.
They won't even do something as simple as putting translations on their own content. They're not gonna mass print lyrics of who's on in the jacket. Yeah. I would love for them to do it. It would be very easy, but that's too hard.
Of course.
Well, Chris would have to do it himself. You have to be like, here, this is what you're going to print. Okay, this is who did this line, and this is who did this line. And
they would still get it wrong. I bet you they would still get it wrong. They would be like, they would mess up. And then
I love when he calls everybody out.
There you go. There's all I could do for JYP. I could take all of my admin skills and I could go work for them and just give me the paperwork that Chris has, and I will learn Hangul and I will figure it out.
Dude,
and then I can send it to print.
Honestly,
so my last thing is that's fine. We can agree to disagree, but I'm still gonna say it's Chan. So if Chan does touch this,
you can say it.
I want you to tell me I'm wrong or I'm right. That's all. And I won't be. I won't rub it in when I'm right. But
we'll know on the next tour when they sing it, because they will probably sing it on a tour at some point in time. And
who knows? They'll probably do it for this encore.
I was thinking that one in October. Yeah.
Quite possibly. So
which I have literally 5 people I know in my personal life are literally bought tickets to Korea and are going to it.
Really?
Yeah, because they're crazy.
If I had the resources.
If I had the resources too. Believe me.
How much were tickets?
Well, so the reasons why they went is because the flight tickets were literally $600 one way.
Oh.
But not more. They were when they dropped. Now they're crazy. But
yeah.
I don't know how much the actual ticket is, but we know in Korea they never upscale the tickets because it's Korea.
They don't have Ticketmaster like we do here.
So from my friend who did go to the first day of the Dominate tour in Seoul, she spent maybe $400 and she was floor row 1
Wow.
Whereas here, Sarah can tell you how much that was because I didn't do it.
Well, GA was like 550 after taxes.
GA, yeah, but floor row 1 though. Sarah was in
floor
row 2. She was row 2, but she was in that dang seat. She knows how much it was.
My floor seated seat for Orlando was 550.
What seat were you in Orlando?
Floor 2, row 30.
Dude, you were behind me.
Shut up. That can't be right because I was floor 4, row 2, and I was about 550. And then VIP.
I was floor 2. Floor 2. So
and I was floor 4, so that was right on the middle of the wing. And I was row 2. Like this view I had was the best. I went to 4 shows. The Orlando view that I had was the best view I had out of everything. And I don't know.
For you, yeah.
And I don't know if it's because we lucked out because of the stadium that it was chosen.
Yeah, 100%.
Everything else was a baseball stadium.
Yeah,
but
that was the best for sure.
Orlando, Cheryl, Ashley, and I, we were row 2 of floor 4.
Yeah.
And
so was I floor 3? I was next to you.
Yeah.
So I was floor 3, row like 20. In Orlando. And the only reason why I enjoyed that so much is because that was my 3rd time seeing them. So I just went insane the entire time.
Yeah.
Me and Rachel, to the point where we were filmed on TikTok because we went so crazy. But no, Sarah's view for that show was insane because if she had that view in a baseball stadium, it would have been not worth it at all because the baseball stadiums were ridiculous. And me and her were in 2 of them.
Yeah. Here's what kills me is DC had
there.
Who was there?
Sarah. She was there.
You were in DC?
Yeah,
DC.
I'm telling you right now, I got the first chair at the tip of the wing.
Mm-hmm.
So the boys were literally 6 feet away from me.
Yeah, the wings were the best.
Did you have VIP seats? Did you have the seats that were in that front section? Because that's how I think they should do concerts if they're going to do from now on. They were actually like assigned seats. It was pit 1 was in front and it was like whatever how many rows, but that was your VIP seating. It was seating in the front and you had a seat. Like you didn't have to like run.
Sarah and I agree on this. Pit should not exist for K-pop concerts. I've been in pit 18 times in my life.
Yeah.
I've been to 37 concerts now. I hate pit for K-pop. Now, let me backtrack because I was in pit for Stray Kids, thanks to Sarah, and I know what Hyunjin's hand feels like now because of that experience. And I was baptized by all 8 of them. So would I do it again? God, yeah. But I think Sarah can agree with me with this. That pit was dry. Nobody was cheering, dancing, doing nothing. They were just so up here. I only filmed 30 seconds of a song and I put my thing away and I'm full in, right? But when they were coming down during like the encore portion of the stage and I saw that they were jumping the barricades, I was like, all right, like here I go. Like,
yeah.
But I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't really do it again. Honestly, I think like the seats Sarah had in Orlando, I would have rather had that experience because you can see them at a level that is so much better.
Yeah.
Because on barricade, you're looking up.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. You couldn't even tell they were running around in front of the barricade.
That was nice. That was what was nice about floor 2 because I was on the side, so I was on the side of the runway between the main and the satellite, and then where my seat was with the extendy arm, I was like midway through the extendy arm.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah. So there. What were you going to say?
On the backside. So with me, it was nice because the girl in front of me, since I was in platform shoes, she was literally this high. So I saw right over the top of her head and I was just the second seat back. So it was like, okay, I get to see everybody.
I can't complain. I'm 5'7", so
I'm 5'2". So with the boots on,
sorry,
I was 5'7".
guys.
Go ahead, Sarah. What were you going to say?
So I went to Seattle with Jules and it all varies based on the stadium itself because the way that it was set up in Seattle, you were just straight up looking at them and they just basically looked over you. Like they had to look like this in order to look at you.
Right.
Of course, they're going to look like whatever. San Francisco, I was section 101, section 101, row 1 CA.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky to be at that CA because they still kept the baseball net up.
They did.
And I was at where the cutout was, so I could at least like kind of like see through the cutout. Everybody like saw through the net. But the way that floor was set up, they were more at a level to where you were kind of looking like this. But then again, if you have somebody who's taller than you in front of you, that shit doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and that stadium, like by far it's awful. Like that the Oracle Stadium, and that's where I'm from. I'm from California, right? So that was my home show, and I knew it was gonna kind of suck because the way the stadium's laid out. That's why I didn't get Pitt for San Francisco. Because that pit was really, really tiny. The stage was smaller. The band wasn't on the stage. The big giant dude during Giant wasn't even out because of how small the stadium is and how windy it is because it's on the ocean.
You didn't get the car, you didn't get the band, and you didn't get Giant at that stadium.
No, during the
I love that part of the band. The band is the best part.
So, I know, but we did get some really funny videos because when they were introducing the band, Sungmin was just in the background of the camera, just like the whole time to all of them. Like he was running back there the whole time, like talking to them. So that's whenever the members would run off stage, it's because they were hanging out with the band.
Yeah, I love it.
So I was funny.
So I was in New York. I was floor seat. I was like there was one in the front that was A. I was section B. I was like 4 or 5 rows back on the end, but I had a 7-foot boyfriend of a girl in front of me. But thankfully, like he allowed me to move, and then the girl behind me staggered, so we were able to see. But I figured out that the best seat in the house was, I wish I was far back on the outside. Now that I'm looking at it, it was where I wanted to go originally, but I panic bought because when the 19th came up after the 18th, because I was like 50,000th in line, and then I was 11th when I went to the queue for 19th. Like I panic bought. I'm like, okay, I want these seats, but I should have picked where I originally wanted. It was literally the 2 seats like in front of each other on the end where the thing comes out right at the end, because the guys would go right to that very end and look out, and I'm just like, and nobody was sitting there at one point. I'm like, can I just go over? And of course they were sort of they were very strict in New York because we had a delay and we had the storm come through and the whole thing.
In Orlando too, me and Rachel tried to move up to literally Sarah's section, but the different row. So so not Sarah's section, sorry, floor 3, but Sarah's row. There were 8 missing spots and they never showed up, and we were pissed. We were like, can't we just go there?
New York was better though in the seats. Like people were allowed. Like I brought my friend's daughter because she's a huge Stay and thought I was awesome because I love Stray Kids. So she was like, can I go with you? I'm like, sure. So we had seats, and my friend had like nosebleed 500 seats, but she had come down to get something to drink in section 100, and there was like seats at the top and nobody was sitting there. She asked the security guard, she's like, can I go there? And he's like, yeah, why not? And so he put her there. So she had a better seat like where she was. So it was awesome in that capacity. But yeah, it was quite the experience. But again, the barricade, because there was we had to evacuate twice. So twice, people that had gotten right up to barricade had to move. And of course, there was massive area of running down.
That's how our Jess was. She got to barricade twice. And then the third time when she had to come back, she didn't fully get barricade at first. Like, you know how the crowd shifts as like.
And then she got it.
Then she got it, but I kept having to tell her, like, you are meant to be where you're supposed to be. So the first time you weren't supposed to be there. Second time, you're not supposed to be there. There's another spot you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be where you are because somebody's going to come by and high five you, or you're going to be able to touch somebody, or you're going to get close up with somebody. I'm telling you, these things are happening for your benefit. It might not look like it now, but it is.
Yeah.
Well, so that's what she was telling me, because when I got into sound check, I was telling her where I was to try to get her to find me when she was going to be let in. And I was, honestly, I'm really grateful for where I was, because there were 2 14-year-olds in front of me, and it was adorable because they turned around, they looked at me, they were like, how old are you? And I was like, why? First of all, like, why? What's your reasoning? Also, I'm 25. What's up? And they were like, well, we're 14. This is our first ever concert ever. And I was like, no parents? They were like, no parents. And I was like, all right. They were like, can you look after us? And I was like, I got you.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, it was so cute. And the girl in front of me, I was like, who's your bias? So I could like be on the lookout for him. She's like, Bang Chen. I was like, all right, got it. So she was one person behind the barricade, but her hand was on it. So she was able to touch it, but she was like this, like the whole time, you know, and that's how I ended up getting to it, is I was like, yeah, like that. But she was there. Bang Chen just being himself comes down right to it. And I was like, go get him. And I just shoved her, just full on pushed her into him. And he full bear hugged her. And it was funny because I yelled so loud. I was like, go get him. And he was like, he looked at me like, and like just then proceeded to high five everyone. I was like, a win is a win.
That's
a win is a win.
Guys, just so FYI, we are at an hour 5 right now. We can keep going.
We'll keep going for an hour and a half. We could make this one longer since we have special guests.
We have special guests. Here's the next question. The other talk that we were going to try to hit on this afternoon was the current toxicity going around.
Oh God.
Since there's a bunch of it happening, I don't know how active you guys are over on Threads, but there's been quite a bit going on over there, which is unusual because Threads usually doesn't get a ton of toxicity. But kind of segued in along with the lawsuits and whatnot in regards to, you know, the way some people act and the way some people react to that action. So it's up to you guys if you want to stick around for that. We could keep going just on tangent buses.
So I'm not on Threads. Sarah is. A lot of people send me threads and I can like see them. I just can't go into the actual thing.
Yeah.
Most of what I see gets put on Twitter though, so I'm assuming I'm going to be seeing a lot of the same things.
Which is funny too, because there's a bunch of people on Twitter like, I'm not going to Threads. They're too delulu. They're too feral. Blah, blah, blah,
really?
blah,
I don't know.
blah.
I just didn't want to download
big
another
time.
app. I just didn't want to download another app.
No, it's like, how do I put this? So X to me is like
cesspool.
Yeah, I mean, because it got worse, and then for a little while I found some stay, but then there was the ageism thing that came out, and that pissed me off. That's a huge one on Twitter, yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, dude, like, music is music. Like, I don't get it. Like, you know, Grateful Dead fans didn't just like everybody from the 90s that liked the Grateful Dead. They didn't just say, hey, you don't belong here. You're too young or you're too old or whatever. It's like, so it's the same thing. Like, I don't understand this whole ageism thing. And especially in K-pop though, it seems to be very prevalent in K-pop.
It's because
I met this woman. I went to the Rose concert in Miami with Cheryl and Ashley, and this cute lady walks up and she's just kind of like looking around, and she's like dressed really nice and whatever. And so, like, you know, we're passing out freebies. So we go up to her, talk to her, give her freebies. And she was like so thankful because she was 72 and she had just lost her husband the year before. So she was going everywhere and traveling to all of these K-pop concerts. And she's like, you know, sometimes people are nice to me, but sometimes they're not because I'm older. And I'm like, I don't get that. I don't understand that. I'm like, rock on, let's go. Dude, you know what I mean? Like, that
people tend to forget that, you know, the stuff doesn't stop at a certain age. Like, you don't stop being a fangirl. You don't stop enjoying music. You don't stop watching Star Wars. I mean, I insert XYZ here. That doesn't stop when you hit a certain age just because you've reached that age. So things don't turn off.
The origin of the argument comes from K-pop idols debut very young.
Yeah.
Like New Jeans, they're 16 years old. I felt as a 25-year-old uncomfortable listening to New Jeans, but that was me, right? Not everybody feels that way. Also, it's music, and who really cares, because it is music. But if you're gonna fall into the culture of certain aspects of K-pop, that is where that argument came from with ageism, which is still not a good argument.
That's so strange, because a lot of our pop stars, Justin Bieber debuted fucking 15?
So see, that's an argument, right? 100%. He was a child. And who was his biggest fandom? It was literally probably 18-year-olds. Whereas Stray Kids' demographic, they're, from what we see each year, because I showed Sarah this year, it's like Stay statistics that they do specifically on Twitter, and I push it out everywhere so that people have access to it. The main age demographic for Stray Kids is 25-year-olds, and it's because that is Ian, Han, Felix, and Sungmin's age, and I'm that age too. I just happen to fall into that. So like for the younger The younger groups I can struggle a little bit with. But
Yeah.
also, I've been listening to K-pop since GOT7 and Big Bang and SHINee. So,
Right.
and I joined Twitter because of One Direction. I was a One Direction fan account. That's why I had 4,000 followers at one point. And then I just never left Twitter. So I converted my algorithm into being only Stray Kids.
Yeah.
Well, and that's I bring up the point. It's like I found Stray Kids. That's what I did not kind of Felix effect, but kind of not Felix effect. But regardless, I've said it numerous times that I am so unbelievably glad I did find them after they were all adults.
Yeah.
Personally, because
Fair.
like I can look at Enhypen, and I can because I'm 48 years old. I am feral as fuck. But I can look at Enhypen and go, I like the music, but aren't they cute? Like, and I can even look at the older Stray Kids stuff. Yeah. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. I can look at the older like pre-debut Stray Kids stuff. Go, oh my God, they're so adorable. Like there's a shift. Like there's and a lot of people don't comprehend that shift. That
they're not that age anymore, and they're not the same.
There's a transition period.
What I find interesting though is that somebody, and I don't know if I saw it on Threads or TikTok, but an older woman came out and showed a study. It wasn't that Stay thing on Twitter. It was something else. It was like, where is the money being spent in K-pop? And the majority is 30 to 50. That's who's buying the albums.
Because they have money.
Yeah, the photo cards, the concerts, and everything else. So guess who's footing the bill for all the rest? Is like,
and that's simply because 30 to 50-year-olds have.
Oh, absolutely.
Have an income. Most of them, right? So, and that's the argument with 25-year-olds too. Is like when we're out of college,
you guys have a job, yeah.
Right. It's like, well, like when you're looking at minors who have that conversation, right? It's like, who's funding your K-pop addiction? Your fucking parents.
Yeah.
Like, well, and it's your parents, bruh. Like, you don't have stakes in this game. Your
parents
do.
This is also where I put it. And the other I can't talk. The other distinction I try to make to people too is there's also a shift. There's that shift between recognizing that once somebody is no longer a child, and and when somebody's an adult. There is the generational differences, because obviously my generation, I was a 16-year-old dating a 24-year-old, and that was perfectly okay in my generation. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that is acceptable now, because stuff evolves, obviously. Right. And that's, and I get that. But the other distinction too is the fact that, what I try to explain to people as well is that there's also this aspect of, the industry is a game. I refer to it as the game trademark all the time, all over the place, and most of us that are in that older demographic, we know how to play the game. A, we recognize that it's a game. B, we understand that it's a game. Yeah. C, we know how to play the game. Mm-hmm. We know that's what we're doing. We do not, because again, I've been an 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old fangirl. And when you are in that younger demographic, I'm going to grow up and marry them. I'm going to grow up and blah. And that's, we've all been through it. Every single one
Sarah.
of us.
You could
still in it.
I love it for it.
Y'all are going to really be upset when the wedding happens. And then I'm like, oh, did your invitation get lost?
My invitation will come, because I have never called you once to Lulu ever. I have always been a supporter.
But there's that. But you know what? You understand the distinction I'm making. We understand that it's a suspension of disbelief. It is the same thought process of going in and watching a movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And reading a book.
It's fantasy.
And it's
there's the Delulu, and then there's delusion.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're two very different things, and that is a huge conversation on TikTok right now, following the Dominate tour. With I was sending Sarah all of the ones who were, who we count as stalkers, and who like Han's stalker, Kat.
Yes.
And that's wild. And the fact that she won fan calls multiple,
all of them,
and they let her have multiple, I'm like, she needs to be stopped, y'all, and you're not helping by giving her the fan call and multiple of them.
Right. Well, okay, but question, because I know who you're speaking of, and she very well, and I know that there has been behavior unbecoming there with like things that she has done at the various concerts and whatnot to get barricade, which is not acceptable at all. But is she truly stalker, or is she just somebody with resources that is?
No, she's not somebody with resources. We have evidence of her.
Okay, here's the thing. The difference would be like I had the.
We're not naming names, so if you know who we're talking about, great. If you don't know who we're talking about, you're not going to find out from us. So just
no,
I know the names. So.
No.
You did it quickly enough. It's fine.
Okay.
So here's the difference is I had the resources to go to multiple, right? But I wasn't, trying to follow them around, and I wasn't specifically trying to beat the shit out of people to get to that one member that I want. I wasn't trying to do all these things. I was just grateful enough, like, okay, I'm gonna go do this,
Okay, so then the lines were crossed for that.
The fan calls, that wasn't an amount of money.
Oh yes, she was. Okay, so listen, this is something she was doing is she was doing basically like group buys, right? She's like, hey, I'm going to, I'll get you all of these albums, whatever, we'll do it together, but I want your little ticket that comes in that album so that I'll take your ticket and your chance. So you guys don't have a chance. You can get all the albums, everything else. I want your ticket. And then she
have the chance
back and then she was just putting it all in her name to have her chances go up. You know what I mean?
The group buy wasn't the group buy was all in one person's name, which is normal.
Mm-hmm.
But there were stolen buys in group buys that put her name into the system.
Yes.
Also, I would say if in that regard, the biggest stalker we know we haven't seen them around for a minute because they're not allowed on fan calls anymore.
Yes.
Is that the particular one for a Chan call?
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
That is no longer allowed. That person is no longer allowed on fan calls anymore.
He's blacklisted.
Because they're blacklisted.
Really?
Yes. Because they had a fan call after when Hop dropped.
Yeah.
And they won a fan call with Felix, Chan, and I believe another, but I don't remember. It wasn't all 8. And they were getting ready for a call with Felix. And if you know how fan calls work, it's a blank screen, but the sound is on.
Yeah.
So you can hear it before they lift the screen, right? Yep. And their names are in the top corner, just like here. It's set up like that, except that it's like this.
Yeah.
Right? So they were there, and the video is gone now, unfortunately. It's completely gone. Like erased from everywhere, including like JYP, like they will not release that information. Mm-hmm. But because their friend was screen recording it to like out them, it got out and now it's gone. But what happened was they were in the room and you hear Felix be like, "Hey, look," and Chan goes, "No, end the call now. End it now," and they end it, and it was blacklisted from there.
Can you believe that? That's mortifying.
It's mortifying, but I can't. That is so satisfying.
I'm sorry, but if you're gonna literally go and take a picture in front of their house, and you go to every single show, and they recognize you now, and Bang Chan is literally just like, "Oh, hey," on the.
I think I know who you're referring to, but if Chan said that, I'd give more kudos.
I would drive my car into a wall.
More kudos to the boy. But that's another discussion. One of the discussions I do want to have in the future is because it's been brought up quite a bit on threads, and I've actually posted about it. There's a psychiatrist that she uses K-pop as kind of a way to kind of get information out, like from a psychological standpoint. She's great. She's amazing. What is it? Nuna Nochi, I think, is her username.
That's the one that told me about, that had the thing. But yeah, I've seen her stuff. But she was talking. She put up a video the other day about what truly is a sasaeng, like because that word is getting thrown around a lot
all the time,
without people fully understanding what. Just going to multiple concerts does not make you a sasaeng.
No.
Going to multiple events does not make you a sasaeng. Even stuff like, okay, you see them on the street and you're like, oh my God, it's them. And you do a little bit of video, even though we can discuss the ramifications of that. That specifically doesn't necessarily make you a sasaeng. It's the showing up at the houses. It's the crossing those lines and going over that, which makes someone a sasaeng, and which again It's where that line between Delulu and delusional gets crossed.
Yeah.
When
Yes. And I
when
think
that line gets crossed, that is when you are a sasaeng. Otherwise, you're just a stalker. You know.
And I think at the end of the day, if anyone is truly going to call themselves a stay, right? Because we've seen stays who are not.
Yes.
They're lowercase s.
They're
There's
lowercase
uppercase s, and then there's lowercase s.
100%. If you're going to call yourself a stay, then I always tell people, and I've told people on SKZN too, in a respectful way, like when we talk about something that is maybe controversial or something, with Bangtan specifically, it's like if you're going to pose an argument of something that Stray Kids themselves have talked about,
what would Chan do?
You need to go back and look at their actual words. If you're choosing to not follow their words,
it's like
you're inviting a problem on yourself.
They're nitpicking.
Well, they're cherry picking. They're cherry picking to fit.
Because like Chan himself on that live stream, which this was one of my favorite parts, is when he literally put up his phone and he was like, "You're in the street.
Yeah.
If you're in the street and you're gonna be like this to me, do you expect me to be nice?"
Right. No, it's well,
no. Right. And he's like, but if you're on the street and you're like, and Felix said this too. Hi, hello. I hope you're having a great day. I just want to say your music is really awesome. That's it.
I love you.
Bye.
Yeah.
And then if they want to engage in a conversation with you,
exactly.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Then do it.
I said this to Chrysalis because I'm so close to New York. There's a lot of celebrities that walk around New York and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But like I've been in a coffee shop before where you see somebody or whatever and you're like out of the corner and you just nod or you engage or you say you mouth high, you know, whatever, and then whatever. And then sometimes it depends. I've seen people walk up to people and start a conversation, or they're standing in line waiting for something and you can't get away from them, so you start a conversation. That's different. Like I always said to Chrysalis, if I saw, like, let's say I was in New York and I see Felix and Chan or I see Hunjin or whatever, I would pick up their tab. I would say, "You guys are awesome, love you," and I'd walk out the door. And either one of two things would happen. They'd either come find me and say thank you, or they would. I did something nice, and I could say that I saw those guys, and that's great, and just be on my way.
It's the service industry in me that really loves that.
And I was always too.
Paying for it,
right?
My little.
Because they were like, well, they could afford it. I'm like, that's not the point. The point is that I'm able to do that, and that's my little way of saying thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd also
do a kindness, right?
I would also like to add too, though, it's not just directed at the members; it's directed to each other. We are a community.
Yeah.
They have built a community.
Mm-hmm.
And I am the first people that I'm one of the first people every single day. I remind people every day on threads, we are only responsible for our own actions and reactions, but we are a part of a community. And therefore, and Chris has said this himself, what we do reflects on them.
100%.
Yep.
So how we treat each other is just as much important.
This mindset that you're talking about right now is the mindset that Cheryl, Ashley, and I had when we wanted to put together some sort of just group that we could just gush about Stray Kids. Like where like craze now has gone is nowhere where we thought it would even go. You know what I mean? We were just very lucky to know what our hearts were and know like, hey, like we're not here to talk about anything other than our love for this thing that has brought us together, and we're going to be respectful to each other, and like we're going to make sure that we take care of each other and love each other. And like I don't think people realize, they probably don't, people don't realize because this is behind the scenes, but like when Cheryl's packing your order, that girl, don't mind my dog, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
When Cheryl's packing your order, she'll go look and see, you know, who is this person's bias, and then try to figure out like maybe they'd like this PC, you know what I mean? And we have hundreds of orders, but Cheryl has such a heart for this community and for the business, and like and making sure that, she always says this, making sure our people are taken care of. And like it's just, there's so many things that we want to instill so much love and light into what we put out there, that it just continues to cycle to us, and that's how it should be, you know. What I mean,
okay, perfect example. Felix is the perfect example of that. I want to put out as much, I want to put out light 10 times more than what I get.
Yes.
It is a very simple concept. It is an extremely simple concept that escapes so many people. Is if you just watch, they are, and I say this all the time, I do not know how the embodiment of emotional maturity managed to find itself in 20-something Korean men, but it did. And if you pay attention to what they are doing and just act in line with what they built, this is all here because of them. We are having this conversation amongst the four of us because of them. We are a community and stay because of them. If we just simply do
what they say,
as they do, not even what they say, as they do, then
people
there's no
seem
problem
to
there.
forget their origin. This wasn't a K-pop group made by a company. This was a K-pop group made by a member so trusted by their company that they didn't debut him for 7 years. He could have debuted with GOT7. He was going to debut with GOT7. They deemed him too young. The members of GOT7 deemed him too young. But they said, this guy is such a powerhouse. Let's mold him into a person who's going to create a group that's unstoppable mentally and in every regard of a K-pop idol.
Exactly.
So people really forget that this was created by a person, not only shaped by a company, by a well-oiled machine, but also a person.
Yeah.
Who is a person first, and that is why they made Stray Kids, because
Chris said during the survival show, I want to be a leader, that I want to make a family. I want to create a family.
Because he never had one in his, and he lost all those family members that he would have been debuting with. He said he lost family, lost friends. He was alone every single time. He was worried that these people are going to hate me because I'm debuting, or I'm being passed on. They're not, right? Or vice versa. They're going into a group. I'm still here.
Yeah.
So the thing with JYP, and I've told Sarah this too, is that JYP has the mentality of, you're going to kind of be your fearlessly authentic self. JYP's a freak. He's a freak of nature. He's a freaky guy. Okay. But that is what makes him himself. And he builds idols as people and as idols. That is something that I give credit to JYPE. Yeah. I will never, ever, ever say I'm a JYPE supporter. But in terms of other K-pop companies, that is a huge strength.
And they've also mentioned that JYPE provides them with mental health services.
They do. They actually have a service for that. Some companies do not.
Right. Yeah. So that like he understood enough to build that kind of into the framework of it. Again, not a JYPE.
Well, because like
JYP is supportive of themselves, but
you can't be an idol
and not have that support
and not and be a person at the same, like literally you cannot be successful as an idol if you're not taken care of as a person, and that is something that they understood a lot. But like Stray Kids is called Stray Kids because it's to build a community and a family of people who are astray and put them together. And I mean, like, shoot, this isn't Stray Kids related, but to what Sarah said, like Sarah, Cheryl, and Ashley had no idea who NMIXX were, had no idea who they were. Totally understandable because they're not very huge. Tell me why I was given an NMIXX light stick like 4 days later after having that conversation with them, and I broke down in tears. They put NMIXX on their own website because one fan was interested. One! Only one was interested. And then I got to use that light stick and an albums that they bought me, and then I got noticed by my bias herself at a baseball game that they went and performed the national anthem at. Would not have had that opportunity if I didn't meet them or have any of that. It's like SKZN themselves are crazed themselves, really cater to the individual person, which is not easy to do, but also that's what Stray Kids built. Yeah. And that is why people like Sarah, Cheryl, and Ashley can create things off of that ideology. But who started it? Stray Kids. People seem to forget that.
It's exactly what I said in the Orlando video that Sarah so beautifully added my face, so I got to see the guys in that capacity. You don't find Stray Kids find you.
Find you, yes. And I say that constantly. That's why my parents are now like chill with me with Stray Kids and my obsession, because they saw the switch in my mental health drastically. And it started with like literally, like I'm an eating disorder survivor. It started with me watching Felix's mukbang lives and him saying, this is a place where you can eat safely. This is a place where we can talk safely. And my parents are like, we're in debt to Felix. They're like, years of eating disorder therapy, and that shit didn't
He'd
work.
love to hear
Thank
that.
you, Felix.
He would absolutely love to hear that.
I know, it's the one thing, if I ever meet him, it's the one thing I want to tell him. Literally the one thing that he literally changed me as a person, in terms of I'm now able to take care of myself because this person who I aspire and look up to so much believes that is that's it. That's what you do. And he gave a space for that, provided a space for anybody struggling to just be themselves and also feel comfortable eating in an environment that might be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's it. My parents, literally, thank you, Felix. They say that shit
I
all
love
the
that.
time.
Exactly. But it's I think at the end of the day, we need to just kind of, there's been a prevalence lately, and I mentioned this on Thread. I do daily posts on Threads every single day. I do my Ajumani advice on Threads. I remind people to take their meds, drink their water, stretch. That's that type of stuff. Drink water. That type of stuff. But I also share my own experiences as someone who's an Ajuma. I know JC refuses.
I will not call myself. I refuse.
Call herself that.
Nuna.
But I am, Nuna, Ani, Ajuma, Sunbae name, whatever you want to call me.
Okay.
I feel it's important because I came in to Stray Kids pre-Met Gala, like beginning of that year.
I was 2023, yeah.
End of 2023, beginning of 2024. And what I was seeing personally was the diversity and the acceptance was amazing. And I finally felt like, in my extended age here, that I had, I finally refound a community that I had been missing for forever. So my way of giving that back is my daily posts. And hey, remember to do this, remember to do that. Here's my perspective on something, because I've been through this in some way, shape, or form. My background is in the entertainment industry. I worked for the largest American producing touring company in America. That does international shows. So I kind of have the back of the house knowledge of how all that stuff works. And I've been a performer. I performed for 15 years myself. So I've got kind of that to pull from. And again, I've been through fangirls. You name it, I've been through the phase. So I kind of that's my way of sort of like giving back, to say, hey, we're going to have growing pains. We're going to grow as a fandom. This is, as they are getting bigger, we are going to get bigger with them, which means we're going to have people coming in that are going to not know what to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you don't gatekeep, but you also just kind of, hey, FYI, this is how, and true to form, you're going to have the people that come in and they're going to be like, oh my God, these guys are amazing. And then they're going to stick around for a couple of weeks, and then they're going to split off to whatever the next thing is that comes into play. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people tend to forget that, but those are also usually the people that are the loudest, that make the most noise, that cause the most toxicity, that tend to just kind of rile everything up and disrupt. And it's important that everyone else remembers that, hey, look at the puppers. You're supposed to be doing something, Mom. That's it. You're supposed to be doing something, Mom. Look, if ever I saw one. But it's important that we also remember that we take care of each other in the process of doing that. Yeah. There are ways that we can, and I said it today. I tried to remind people today, because we've been seeing it a lot on Threads with certain people, that there are ways you can approach. If somebody is acting in a way that is not appropriate, they're crossing a line. They've blurred that line, or here's the line for Delulu, and they're all the way over there.
Yeah.
There's ways that can be approached in a constructive way without turning into the monster that they're trying to portray you as.
Right. And not demeaning.
And not demeaning. And, and I try to remind people all the time, like, look, if you aren't sure, if you're reading something online and you're blah, 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 and you're smashing buttons, typing out the most aggressive, because you're defending yourself or you're defending someone else, especially if you're defending somebody else, stop, put the phone down, walk away, think about it for a little bit. And if you aren't sure about what you're about to say, reach out to somebody that you trust.
Yeah.
To say, hey, wait.
Yep.
because it's as equally important that we treat each other, even in situations that can be pretty extreme. It's equally important that we treat each other with that respect, so that we don't become the things that they are that they don't want to see.
Right.
And we don't become those elements that make them look bad at the end of the day.
Preach it.
Yeah.
Hi.
I
I think we should end on that note.
Okay. Because it is about that time.
But I think we definitely should have Jules and Sarah back.
I would love to.
You
Like
can come on anytime you want.
The whole purpose of this doing this, you know, because we want to have roundtable discussions on a regular basis. We want different opinions. We would love to have people come in that have differing opinions, because that's obviously that
like
happens.
Jules and I with that damn song.
With that,
listen, like I am probably I know I didn't speak too much on this podcast, but sometimes I can't shut up, but but I definitely would say, when it comes down to like having difference of opinions, I usually have a different opinion than everybody else. I do like a pushback, but I try my best to like do it in a way where I want to learn why you think you think.
Yeah.
I want to step outside my box, and maybe if anything I can like merge opinions and create a new opinion or something.
I devil's advocate like the best of them.
That's
so
why
like,
she's fun to talk to.
Yeah.
me and her disagree on a lot of things, but it's fun to talk about it because we can.
I'm funny.
Civil discourse.
Very funny, and we can see.
It's how you grow.
We can kind of go this way eventually on a lot of things.
It's how you grow, and it's how people, and it's an element of things that has, because of the advent of the internet and because of instant gratification and because of keyboard warriors and whatnot, it's a nuance that's been lost. So, you know, JC and I are basically trying to kind of bring that nuance back into this format, because realistically speaking, at the end of the day, the guys themselves have said that this is how they overcome issues and problems and differences of opinions. They sit down, they have a vote, they figure stuff out, and they talk.
Yeah.
That's literally how Cheryl, Ashley, and I do things. Like nothing is passed on without all of us unanimously making a decision, because all of our hearts need to be in it together.
Absolutely.
And it's not, I can't like, you know, we can't 2 versus 1 type thing, because then it's just not going to work.
Right.
You know, there's been times where like we have been trying to like, we're trying to create something, and it's taking us days past the date that we want to maybe like put it out there, because we're trying to make sure like, okay, this is something that we all need to love and be confident in, because, you know, that's just how this has to go. Yeah. And within this past year, like they have taught me so much about just how to grow in a way that is not only beneficial to myself, but my community. And like, it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me is like meeting you guys and being here with everybody. So literally.
We love you.
So all right. So then on that note, since we're going to end on this note for today, I want to thank Jules and Sarah as well for coming on board today. I know it wasn't planned. You guys just kind of got thrown into the mix today. So thank you.
I love it.
I like it. No, you don't. I love the fact that this format actually allows us to do that. So I'm really kind of liking that. So we're gonna keep doing this. JC and I are gonna stay. When this is all in, just so y'all know, JC and I usually stay on afterwards just so we can figure out next steps and blah, blah, blah. But thank you guys for showing up. I'm going to end this the way I always end it, because JC starts it off for us and I end it for the day by saying what I say every single day, which is, now let's get out there and be the best damn fandom that Stray Kids deserve and make our guys proud as hell. So we will catch you on the next episode of Stay Talk. Once we figure out when that's going to be, it will be posted on our socials. I do post it on Threads. We also have our Patreon set up now. We are on Instagram. The links are in the bio. Smash the buttons. You know what to do. And we will see you all later. So otherwise, guys, thank you very much and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.